developed one, and then one course I took over from Darren. And I think that was the first time we'd ever tried that, where a lot of the thing that we find is we bring a teacher in to develop. Depending on what their level of skill is with computers, they make the course fit their personality. And Darren, I remember the original conversations on that one, and Darren was a big fan of that idea that a course should reflect a teacher's personality somewhat, rather than getting teachers in and having them automatically fit a mold or determining, demanding from them that there's certain structures. He gave guidelines. We work within one learning platform, WebCT. We've worked with that since the beginning. But as far as how teachers develop their courses, as far as interaction goes, very personal to the teachers. The level, like even the assignments, I know there are a couple courses. Math 90 is an example of a course where it's, I would say, probably almost 95% computer graded. So it is set up in such a way that most of the instruction is through Flash files instruction, because Dave Elder, the man who developed it, he was just a whiz at that program. I mean, he put in the time, learned it, and he's amazing. Other people on staff don't necessarily have that kind of ability with Flash, but they're much more on interaction and communication. So they'll use the discussion and the whiteboard tools of WebCT a lot more in that course. And so courses start to take on personality of instructors a little bit. Now within guidelines, we have to tie all our courses to the Saskatchewan education curriculum objectives. And that's one really nice part of cyber school, because we link directly to Sask Learning. So when I start a unit in Christian ethics, for example, I say Unit 1, objectives, I link them straight to the Sask Learning curriculum documents itself. Whereas in a lot of physical classes, and teachers do that, it's part of our professional responsibility, but it's never linked that clearly. Like the teacher plans the course, and it's in their binders and in their, in their filing cabinets, and how close that is linked to the government's learning objectives varies from class to class, whereas this one, it's online all the time, students and parents especially.
So you're saying it's more explicit?
It's more explicitly connected, yes. I'm not saying the connection is more thorough, because every teacher plans their own course, but it's definitely more explicit. So Sask Learning, I mean, throughout my course in Christian Ethics 10, there's links to Sask Learning in every unit, which goes straight to the government curriculum documents, and I find parents really like that, especially in Christian Ethics 10. They want to know that what you're teaching comes out of that developed curriculum, that you're not just sort of going off and doing your own thing. It's less of the closed door. In a physical classroom, you have that sometimes in bigger schools. You have that closed door teaching. Johnson teaches this down the hall, he has the door closed. We assume he's doing the right thing. Well, I mean, and you look at administrative review or those sorts of things, and once a teacher gets tenure, it's professionally responsible. We assume all our teachers are, but in cyber school, there's definitely a lot more. It's explicit and transparent. So it's there. So I mean, when you put your course in, it's transparently linked to everything the government has for objectives for that learning outcome, and that's actually a relief to the teacher as well. Like when I go in and students or parents ask questions about the course, it's so nice to be able to say, well, this is learning objective 2.4 from the curriculum guide. It gives a lot more authority to the course.
And validity for you guys? Like, I mean, could I dare say something saying, why would you do that? So you use that confidence to say.
And it's a huge one, especially, and we did Christian ethics, that's the one I developed. So I mean, we went to, as a Catholic school board, we went to the bishop of the diocese, and we presented the whole course to him for approval. I mean, so we presented to the bishop and two of his other clergyman fellow advisors, and we waited for their response. So we tried